This is your week 2, day 3 introductory video. In your day 3 note, you will be introduced to my notice, name, do something different model. I point out the similarities between that model that we use in daily life to dismantle unhealthy patterns of various sorts, to what we do in a Feldenkrais movement awareness class. When I'm working with people, it's become apparent to me that people trying to work with this model and dismantle their patterning that's unhealthy, they sort of discount the importance of naming. So they'll come back to me, they'll share with me something's happening, and I'll say, did you think to notice and name that in the moment? And pretty consistently, people will say, well, I just noticed it. Okay, but they didn't name it. So I'll give you just a short anecdotal story to demonstrate the importance of this. Since we're interested in the stress response, I'll start there. So I was working with a man, and I said that to him. Did you think to notice and name that in the moment, what he was sharing with me? And he said, oh, I just noticed it. And I said, well, the naming part's very, very important. So I'm going to suggest to you that you spend the next 2 weeks until we see each other again, actually naming it as well. And let's just see what happens. You come back and you tell me what your experience was. So he didn't even make it through the 2 weeks. He wrote me an email and he said, I can tell you right now what I've noticed so far, which is that when I also name it, my anxiety level and my tension levels drop immediately. Okay, so since we're interested in the stress response, that would seem to be pretty important and a pretty good reason for naming in and of itself. But there's more to it than that. There's a lot more to it than that. I'm just going to give you a couple more little tidbits to think about, reflect upon. Okay. When we name it, it makes it more difficult for us to make excuses for ourselves. When we name it, it makes it much less likely that we will distort our present moment reality in order to protect our ego, our self-image. Again, that would be important in and of itself. But what I would like you to consider is that when we distort our present moment reality like this, we make poor choices. Now, you might be sitting there and thinking, okay, well, we all make poor choices now and then. They don't, have a big impact on my life, anybody else's life. They're insignificant. Okay, maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But this I can tell you for sure. In my 20 plus years of working with people day in and day out, I have seen these poor choices devastate one's physical health. I have seen it devastate relationships. And I have seen these poor choices devastate people financially and to make any financial security or sense of well-being they might have had disappear. So this is no small matter. But even if that wasn't true, which it is, when we distort our reality like this in the present moment, it makes true learning impossible. And therefore, it makes growth impossible. So if I were to sum this up, when we name something, we decrease the chances that we will cause ourselves and or our loved ones unnecessary suffering. And we will increase chances of making wiser and wiser choices as we proceed through life. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that. Onward to your Day 3 supplemental materials. All right.